Morning, I'm Mr. Caddle. You might remember me from subjects of English. I'm here today to talk about one of my favourite books and to try and emphasise the importance of reading and how it can help you improve your English technique as well as many other subjects. The book I'd like to talk to you about is called Please Mrs. Butler, and it's a collection of poems about school life which I found particularly interesting. It's by an author called Alan Alberg, who wrote several other famous children's books. The reason I like it so much is it's very light-hearted. It's all about primary school and going through the trials and tribulations that you might find there. And it's quite funny as well. And the reason I like it so much is because I was awarded it when I was at primary school for helping others to fulfil their destinations and their aspirations. So it was a bit of a nice thing to get. It was a nice reward. And some of the poems are really quite amusing. So I've got one today to read to you. It's only short. And it's called Mr. Emma Hackett's News Book, and it's all about what a pupil did over the summer holidays. This is what she wrote. Last night my mum got really mad and threw a jam tart at my dad. Dad lost his temper and then with mother threw one at her and hit my brother. My brother thought it was my sister, threw two at her but somehow missed her. My sister, she's only 3, hurled 4 at him and 1 at me. I said I wouldn't stand for that, aimed 1 at her and hit the cat. The cat jumped up like he'd been shot and landed in the baby's cot. The baby quietly sucking his thumb and started howling for my mum, at which my mum got really mad and threw a Swiss roll at my dad. Very, very simple, but quite amusing for me. Maybe not for you, but that's because you're different to me. Alright, I hope you enjoyed what I was talking about with books. Make sure you read, it's very important. Signing off, Mr. Caddle. Goodbye.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Walker. My favourite book of all time is To Kill a Mockingbird. I read this when I was 14 and it changed the way I view the world. It's about racism and how it can affect people. This book made me realise, because it was alright to be racist when I grew up, made me realise how wrong it was to be a racist by the way people were treated.
My name is Mr. Mackey and I'm here to talk about my favourite book, which is The Lord of the Rings. I first read The Lord of the Rings whenever I was a teenager. And I got absolutely hooked into the story, so much so that I've gone back and read the book almost every single summer since then. It's a fantastic story, and the reason why I like it so much is it's the classic story between good and evil, but the story it transports you to a completely different world. The creative writing is so descriptive that you can imagine being there. The characters, the fantasy is absolutely amazing, and I'm sure most people will have seen that it's been made into a fantastic movie since, but the book is 10 times better. I think it's really important that people should read because it allows you to imagine things that you could never think of or that you could never do in real life, and it enriches your life. People who constantly have a book on the go are a lot more creative in life, and people who are avid readers, I think, get a lot more satisfaction in life.
Hi, my name is Mr. Pughsley and my favourite book is The Ghost by Robert Harris. The reason why I like the book is all the way through it twists and turns. The general gist of the story is that a guy turns up dead on an island, and someone's writing their ghost for an autobiography, and while they're writing the book they find out all about what was going on, find out who killed the person in the end. I think the reason why I like it the most is the fact that the people who you expect to be killing the guy off, by the time you get to the end it's someone totally different. So it's full of twists and turns right through the way, because I find books boring where you know exactly what's going on. I think it's really important to read because it keeps your mind active and thinking about what's going on. All the time you're thinking about how it's changing, who could it be, who is the murderer, and it helps you stay sharp on thinking about what's happening, why is it happening, piecing bits of information together just so you can understand who the killer is. I think when you find out who the killer is in your own head and then you read it, it really helps you to say, well actually I picked up bits of evidence along the way, and I'm not as dumb as I look.